Hi, my name is Brian from Denmark, your tech friend, and in this video you'll get insane value if you're on the lookout for a Motorola in the G series, okay? Because I will be comparing and talking about no less than 7 of them that I've had in my possession over the last 4 months, okay? So, grab a cup of tea or coffee and let's do this. Let me just start off by talking about which phones I have right now in my possession. I've just sold the Moto G8 Power and the Moto G20, but I still have the Moto G30, the Moto G50, the Moto G100, the Moto G9 Plus, and the Moto G50 Plus. Okay, so those are the phones I'm going to be talking about. Okay, let's start. If you are concerned about battery life, then you have come to the right place, because all Motorolas have a very good battery life, is my findings. Most of them have a 5000 mAh battery, and they are not having any problems. If you're a light user, that'll get you through 3 days. If you're a heavy user, only 1 day perhaps, but light users at least 2 days, okay? There's just one I would like to talk about, and that's the Moto G100. This one has the Snapdragon 870 chipset inside of it, and it uses quite a bit of power. So if you're a heavy gamer and you play a game on this phone, then it will drain fast, and it's only a 1 day phone, this one. But all the others, you're good to go at least 1 day. Size-wise, most Motorola phones come in at about 6.5 inches, some are 6.3 inches, and this is a 6.5 inch. It's the Moto G20, the G30, as well as the G50 of 6.5 inches and 6.8 inches here on the Moto G9 Plus. So all have relatively big screens, okay? All of them also have quite some heft to them, weighing in at around 200 grams and upwards. Okay, I've just recently done a big phones comparison test where I also had these two guys in it, the Moto G100 and the Moto G8 Plus. If you want to see that, you can watch it up here. And the thing I just want to tell you about it is that these screens, although they are good enough, Motorola screens are good enough, they are not like Super AMOLED that comes in most, the Samsung A42 and upwards, and the top models, of course. So the screens, if you put them side by side to a Samsung model of those I just talked about, then these will look kind of dull. But in daily usage, you won't notice these things when using a Motorola phone. Okay, let's talk about a very interesting thing in a phone that you don't normally get advice from the reviewers. Okay, and that's the sound quality. Actually, the sound quality on the loudspeaker. All of these are, let's see, mono-firing. Yeah, all of these are mono-firing from a speaker at the bottom, besides the Moto G100, which also has a speaker up here. And I actually can't record it for the G5G Plus. Let's check it out and put it up here in the text, okay? The sound experience you get from, for instance, this Motorola G9 Plus, it has an excellent speaker, but I would even say better than the Moto G100. Also, it has a great 3.5mm jack at the top. Also, I found that to be better actually than the Moto G100 in my test that I've done on these big phones. One good thing I can say about Motorola is that normally they all have very loud loudspeakers. Brilliant, right? You should think that's pretty bleeding obvious, right? But ask Samsung on that one. Okay, and then all of them in the G series has got stereo mics. The reason why I just want to mention that is because the Moto G20 does not, and it has a very poor audio experience in general, also very poor and tiny speakers here. So steer clear of the Moto G20 if audio is of importance to you, okay? But generally, again, I would say that if you put the 3.5mm jack in a Motorola phone, you'll have a good experience. Not best, but a good enough experience, okay? And let's talk speed, because of course the Moto G100 is the fastest with the Snapdragon 870 chipset in it, whereas this, the Moto G50, has got a lesser Snapdragon in it. I don't recall what it is inside of it right now actually. But it goes without saying, this one actually plays, if you're a gamer, serious gamer, then I would actually recommend all the Motorolas except the Moto G30. But just get back to that. If you're a top-end gamer, buy this Moto G100. It has, it can play PUBG, for instance, at I think it was an Ultra and Ultra HD setting. So it will go all the way almost to the top of the settings, and it is a very good gaming experience, this phone. Okay. As for the Moto G50, it is like it's just a straight run-of-the-mill phone. This phone, it isn't extraordinary in any way, but it's a relatively sure budget buy. Okay. It has got 5G, the Moto G100 has got 5G, and the Moto G5 5G Plus has got 5G, of course. These guys don't have 5G, and that's the Moto G9 Plus, and the Moto G20 and the Moto G30 don't have 5G, if that's of importance to you. But you can say like it goes corresponding with the model number name. If the higher the model number, the more powerful processor there'll be in the phone. Except for the Moto G20 and the Moto G30, where it's actually the opposite way around. So that's, I would say the Moto G30 is the odd phone out actually, because it is not faster than the Moto G20. The Moto G20 plays PUBG at HD high, so does all the other phones actually. If you want to play Heyday and stuff like that, all of these phones does that well enough, okay? But this phone is interesting to talk about because it is suffering enormously under playing PUBG. This is the Moto G30. You can only play it in like some of the very low settings, and sometimes the sound when you're driving in a car doesn't play, so you can't hear you're in a car, and if you want to record the screen, you can't hear what's the in-game sound and stuff. So if you're a gamer, a serious gamer, you should not buy the Moto G30. That said, the Moto G30, if games are not important to you, has a trick up its sleeve, because I actually compared it with the very best, the presumably best one, the Moto G100 in regards to photography. Okay, so if I just looked away at a couple of minutes and my mind easily drifts off, then I couldn't tell which phone had the better picture quality. I just couldn't tell, and I tried made a lot of different photos and tests. So if you're into photography, you can get away with the Moto G30. It'll do you good enough, and you won't upgrade by upgrading to the Moto G50. The Moto G50 actually has got poorer camera, and the Moto G100 isn't. It's about the same. A tiny camera recommendation if you wanted to buy the cheapest Motorola and get the best camera of the Motorola G series line, goes to the Moto G30. That said, I would not recommend buying a Motorola actually if camera experience is of importance to you. I would go the Samsung or the iPhone route right as it is now. And a great thing about these Motorolas is that they have all got fingerprint authentication either on the side or on the back. That's a big plus. And they all got a 3.5mm jack, big plus, big batteries, big plus, big screen, depends on your pocket being big enough to hold it. And I would say a last thing about these Motorola G series and Motorola in general, I like Motorola. Over a Nokia, over a Xiaomi, I would easily pick a Motorola. There's just something about the UI experience you get on the Motorolas I like a lot. The double slash to activate the flashlight and the wrist turn to activate the camera. It's just they've tried to make it a bit fun, whereas Nokia just completely, fallen off the ladder. Or that one, I don't know if they ever intended that OS to be fun, but it certainly isn't. So actually I'm just selling off all my Motorolas now. I think I may be keeping the Moto G100 for just a bit longer just to play on it. But all of them gotta go. So buy the Motorolas for those reasons, and do not buy a Motorola for a stunning screen experience. You won't get it. Do not buy a Motorola for a stunning camera experience. You will definitely not get that one. Yeah, so that's it. And in general, I would recommend buying a Motorola in the G series. They are all great phones. Stay clear of the G20 and the G30. Yeah, buy the other ones. Easy recommendation.